The Yowie, or more commonly referred to as the Australian Bigfoot, is a large beast that stands on two legs roughly 7 to 12 feet tall, and has the general appearance of that of a large ape-like creature. Sightings of this beast have persisted for eons since the time of the aborigines, and their ancient mythological folklore. What's all the more startling about this urban legend is that even to this day many Australians claim to have encountered the Yowie, and many others have started their own research groups looking into the evidence of these mythological beasts. Ancient Aboriginal myths credit the Yowie as being beasts from the time before man, and that the Yowie were the original inhabitants of the Australian continent, but were completely driven out of their native lands by men that came there to settle. Interestingly, this could very well be possible evidence of the Homo sapiens driving out Neanderthals, a species similar to that of humans that were believed to share an ancient common ancestor, but later went extinct roughly 35,000 years ago under mysterious causes. Going down the Yowie rabbit hole leads to further startling theories surrounding their existence. From Australian government officials covering up further evidence, to Yowies being involved in many of the extraterrestrial and unidentified flying object sightings all around Australia. There are even subgroups of the Yowie community that defend the idea that Yowie might be an alien species visiting the Earth, and that the Bigfoot monsters and variations could all be extraterrestrial species. The Yowie creature is commonly encountered in Queensland, Australia, with many of the eyewitnesses saying this creature is unlike anything they've seen before. One woman claimed that she saw one outside of her house, and that when she went out to investigate afterwards, a bad odour was left in the air. She didn't manage to take any photographs as the encounter only lasted for a few minutes. However, she describes the creature as looking like a tall humanoid that had a thick layer of hair. Although the Yowie creature is said to just live in Australia, others have suggested the Yowie and Bigfoot creatures are actually the same. In fact, some have put forward the idea that one of the most common places to encounter these creatures is national parks across the planet. Something that many may be aware of is there seems to be an unreasonable amount of disappearances that occur in national parks across the world, an almost disproportionate amount given any area it's compared to regarding visiting populations of any kind. Of course, skeptics may argue this makes sense for there to be so many disappearances given the fact that national parks are massive, and to an untrained individual could potentially be a death sentence if they happen to become lost. However, even specialists have become lost and turn up months later with no idea what happened, or rather worryingly don't turn up at all. One of the things that many people encounter while exploring national parks is mysterious sounds. Many have come forward and said that while hiking it feels as if low and high-pitched sounds are following them. Some believe there could be creatures lurking in our national parks that are causing these disappearances. Over the years, experts have come forward and said that they've encountered large humanoid creatures while out in these open areas. Of course, these claims are immediately met with criticism. However, these people stand by what they see. One hunter claimed that while camping in a national park he heard a strange grunting noise. When pointing a flashlight to where the noises were coming from, he saw a large Bigfoot-like creature, and he said that it was over 8 feet tall. These creatures follow a similar theme. They stand on 2 legs and are roughly 6 to 12 feet tall. They have the general appearance of that of a large ape-like creature. Sightings of these mysterious creatures have been reported for years. All over the globe there have been reports of them, from Tibet, America and Australia. There's no shortage of these stories, and ancient myths credit these creatures as having run-ins with humans, and when this happens it doesn't usually end well. Some have even managed to record some of these mysterious calls, and when given to scientists they say that humans are unable to make these kinds of noises. Scientists and researchers who work in the region have said that what people are seeing is nothing more than unidentified wildlife, but the people that encounter these creatures disagree, saying that they know what they saw and it's unlike anything they've seen before. The most recent case involves a camper who was hiking close to Mammoth Cave in Kentucky. It's been reported that this camper was being investigated for open firing in a national park, and their reason for doing so is because they encountered a large humanoid. 2 campers were woke up by a scared man with a gun and a flashlight. One of the campers said the following about the event. "We got out and saw a man and his son who told us the campsite had been destroyed by someone or something. We heard them coming back about 10 minutes later. We heard them yelling, 'I see it.' We saw the flash from his gun and he shot maybe 20 yards from the side of our tent. I was mostly just concerned about him shooting in the middle of the night. 911 was called and the couple decided it would be best to stay in their car for the rest of the night. US laws state that no firearms can be used within the confines of a national park. Shortly after, park rangers decided to go out and investigate the area, but they said they found nothing. One individual said the following about the incident. "I have encountered something while hiking late at night in a national park. I'm not going to make any outlandish claims, but whatever it was, it stood around 8 feet tall and smelt bad. I've read similar incidents of park rangers going out after people claim they saw a large creature. They always say they found nothing, but it's not like they're going to admit if they did find something." The man ended this by saying there are creatures living in these areas and people need to be careful. However, officials on the other hand have another theory, saying that when people witness these alleged creatures it's always during the night, and during this time it's hard to come to a conclusive answer as to what you're seeing. Something as simple as a tree can have the appearance of a large man, and most of these cases involve pareidolia or normal national park wildlife. Lieutenant Colonel Percy Fawcett is a well-known explorer of South America. During his travels, however, he encountered some mysterious things along his way. Although some have brushed aside these stories, others have questioned that would someone who had this much experience lie about what they saw. One of his most famous encounters was that of the coxy. It's been reported in the past and believed by many there exists a strange undiscovered tribe known as the coxy. They allegedly live deep within the dense jungles of the Amazon rainforest. The coxy are unlike any other in that many of the reports claim them not to be entirely human. Back in 1914, Percy Fawcett claimed to have come across a strange tribe that were extremely hairy, lived in villages constructed from primitive materials in the jungle and used bows and arrows to help them hunt and fight back invaders of all kind. They were described as being similar to that of reports of Sasquatch people, only speaking and communicating with each other in primitive grunts, and residing northeast of a well-known tribe known as the Maxabu. Given the fact that many of the uncontacted tribes in the region appear to have origins tens of thousands of years in the past, many claim that perhaps these coxy are a part of the last living tribes of Neanderthals in the modern day. Others believe they could be a hidden village of Sasquatch people, moving whenever they're discovered to denser and more undiscovered regions in the world. Though many might not believe that these creatures exist, there is evidence of its presence in mountains and forests from around the world, and recently we found out the FBI was interested in these sightings. Since 1978, it's reported the FBI started to take interest in this cryptid. During that time, Director Peter Byrne of the Bigfoot Information Center sent the FBI an interesting package. Inside contained around 15 hairs attached to a tiny piece of skin. The reason it was sent to the FBI is because the organization couldn't identify what animal this came from. The FBI decided to take a look, and it turned out the hair sample was from a deer. 4 decades later, the FBI declassified its Bigfoot file about this analysis. As many have pointed out though, it doesn't prove that Bigfoot exists. It just means the government did someone a favour and may have been a little interested themselves. They never expressed interest in Bigfoot and never stated the humanoid is real. It turns out though, these sightings have been happening for years. An early settler by the name of David Thompson crossed the Rockies near the present site of Jasper, Alberta. He mentions coming across the tracks of a large animal. The entry in his journal reads, "Continuing our journey in the afternoon, we came on the tracks of a large animal. The snow around 6 inches deep in the ice. I measured it. 4 large toes of 4 inches in length to each short claw. The ball of the foot sunk 3 inches lower than the toes. The hinder part of the foot did not mark well. The length 14 inches by 8 inches. Walking from north to south and having passed around 6 hours. We were in no humour to follow him. His great size was not that of a bear. So that was the mysterious Yowie and other large humanoids. My question to you guys is, do you think these creatures are genuine? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.